Hey everybody, welcome back to the AI versus HI podcast. I'm Adrian Casey with 1289 Creative, and I'm here with Tim Gilson from the Gilson Home Group. In this podcast, we talk about AI and real estate and those situations where humans are still just doing it better. So, Tim, I think this next topic, I think every topic is interesting, but I think this one,
cool, yeah.
this one is particularly, I think, helpful to have a human who has experience. And it's really like spotting red flags on both sides of the deal, right? Whether it's something you're up against or whether it's, maybe one of your clients, going to put themselves in a situation that's going to put a lot of pressure on them. And you just really have to be able to read the reality of the situation. Tell me a little bit about your experience with that.
Yeah, that's great. So anticipating kind of 3 steps down the path, what's going on with this transaction. A couple of simple examples. Let's say that you're working with a family who are sellers of a property and they have extraordinary finishes that are in this residence that are kind of above and beyond what other people would find in that particular market. We need to find a way to anticipate what the market response is going to be and how to justify a premium for that particular property. And we have to think forward about how are we going to do this, but we also need to manage realistically the expectations of the seller if that local micro market is not willing to pay the premium. So we have to kind of future pace. What are we going to do to try? How are we going to do this to get the marketing correct, to get you the most out of these really great finishes and features that you have, but also manage the expectations. So that's going to be something that's tricky. Some of the other things that we have to kind of be sensitive to with the human side, and AI is not very good at this, I'll be honest with you, but the humans are, the potential competing interests of 2 sellers in a family, or 2 buyers if you're working with buyers, where one has these criteria and the other one has these criteria, and you need to find a way to manage that, because you realize very quickly who's going to be the decision maker, or is there going to be a decision maker, or is it going to be no decision because they can't agree on what they want. So we have to be able to do that, but also navigate diplomatically the conversations to come to some sort of agreement of the minds so that we can make progress on the stated goal, whether that's selling a property or buying a property. So that future pacing also flips over into areas of the physical plant. If we walk up to a residence and let's say it's a large parcel of land and there's standing water out in the front yard for whatever reason, we anticipate there's probably a lot of clay around here, and we need to go and take a look at what's going on with that basement as the first episode of when we walk into this building, and to kind of understand they might be in love with it because of the quality of the flip or the finishes that they put into this flip. But guys, before we get too emotionally attached, let's navigate whether this is actually in your interest to do. And that, so it's not just the human element, but it's also the physical plants. We got to kind of have our eyes open to what the potential pitfalls are to what's going on here. And what the advantages are. If this is a real gem, we need to be able to say, hey guys, this is a gem. Do not wait. This is gold, and be able to articulate. You're going to have more offers than this. If you don't tie this thing up now, I guarantee you there's going to be offers in 2 or 3 days. So that kind of understanding what's coming at you, AI is not real good at. HI can do a really bang-up job.
I agree.
The other thing is lifestyle defects. We've had families take a look at the absolute perfect home, but then they ended up realizing, hey guys, do you understand that this is a 1-hour drive from where you're working? And you told me you didn't want to drive more than a half an hour. I know the house is perfect. I said, okay, but here's what I want you to do. You're going to drive this thing. Before you write your offer, during your due diligence, or before you write this offer, I want you to drive this drive just like you would on a daily commute, and see if you're down with that, that's okay. The other part of the equation is lifestyle defects. People talk about, we really want to have our kids in a good public school system, but they found the home of their dreams and it's just across the school district lines. And they said, well, it's close enough. Think about this really, really hard before you do this. So kind of navigating what the issues might blow up in their face later. The other part is we often see, I really want to be walking distance to a park or to an ice cream shop or coffee shop or something, some kind of shopping or restaurant. And suddenly we're out in the suburbs and it's all just crossroads. And it's like, we can do this as long as you remember that what you told me you wanted, this doesn't match. So we have to kind of gently navigate people back to what they originally told us they wanted,
Right.
and say, are you sure this is what you want in the future? And that's kind of future pacing. And sometimes they step away from it and says, oh my God, you're right. We don't want to be out here.
Yeah.
And that's really, you've done your clients a really great service.
Absolutely.
When they step away from something that they love because the brain took over.
You made me think of two things when you said that, and I'm glad you did. One of them is AI is only as good as what you feed it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like if you're telling it the wrong things to get like a desired outcome, it might give you the right answer.
Yeah.
But the reality is it conflicts with what you need or what you want.
Yeah, you're going to be in Omaha, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is that, I think like with anything, with any kind of relationship, right? When people want something, they tend to make emotional concessions to try to make it work.
Yeah.
And again, you feed that into AI and says, well, you can make it work by doing this, that, and the other. But the real question is, should you make it work? And what I mean by that is the school example is a perfect example. Okay, no problem. It's the perfect house. I'm going to put my kids in private school, or I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But now you're forced. You're making a decision now that is moving your hand later.
Yeah.
If circumstances change later, you could potentially be shooting yourself in the foot. And it can't interpret that. It's going to give you the goal that you want it, right?
Exactly. It gave you the answer that you needed.
Yeah.
Here's a great example of exactly that. We have families looking at all different price points to purchase homes. We have a family recently who took a look at a home that was at a significantly lower price point than where they had been shopping with the really logical thought, we can add on to this house and make it everything that we wanted. The location is exactly where we wanted to be. And we looked at it. We spent a lot of time talking about, but you have an infant,
right?
And you're going to tear the back of this building off, and that has real world impacts. You're not going to be able to live in this home.
Yeah.
So, being able to kind of paint the picture of what this looks like in 3, 6, 9, and 12 months helps people to realize, like, oh, you know what? Yeah, we could add it on, and the money would still make sense, and the location would be great, and the finishes would be exactly what we want. But, oh my gosh, the lifestyle.
Yeah.
What are we doing between now and then when we have a little one and we have other family commitments? Yeah. HI does a great job of helping families navigate that stuff.
Right.
Not so much AI.
Yeah, because you're meeting them where they're at emotionally and having a real conversation.
And being humans.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thanks, Tim.
Thanks, Adrian.